Hi guys, this is again Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my canal. So today I'm here to do another request video for you guys. This is question that my friends have been asking me, and also do get some question on YouTube, so I decided to come and do this video for you guys. But before we jump into this video, please, if you are not a subscriber, please make sure you press on that subscribe button and press on the notification bell. By that way you get notified whenever I upload a new video, so you don't have to miss out. I do upload videos every day on 4 o'clock Holland time. I don't know the time of your country where you guys live in. If you guys want to stay connected with me, please follow me on my social media, Facebook like page and my Instagram. All the links will be down in the description box. So before we jump into this video, I'm going to show you guys how I mix my banana powder. Of course, we have the yellow banana powder, which is like super yellow. We have some of them who are a little bit darker. Some people prefer to have such a light powder underneath their eyes. Sometimes I really don't mind to have light powder underneath my eyes, but the days where I just want to have like a really natural makeup look, what I like to do, I like to mix my own banana powder. I put it into this container. Days where I don't feel like having a super bright under eyes, I use this because I just like the way it looks. So I'm going to show you guys how I mix this. I have two of the Makeup Revolution setting powder here. This is the banana setting powder. This is also a setting powder, but it is in dark. This is like a dark powder. Baking powder, this is also their baking powder, but this is dark. And this is the banana powder. So I'm going to show you guys how I mix this. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this, and I have this container which my powder mixture is finished. I'm going to show you guys how I mix this because a lot of you guys have been asking me, show us how you mix this. So this is it. I just pour as much as I want into this. I don't like to mix a whole lot, just because I don't like to have it for a long time standing. I just take a little bit. So as you guys can see, now I have this powder in here. You guys see how much I have. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this dark powder. I'm also going to pour into it. I'm just going to pour as much, and as I'm pouring into it, I'm trying to like mix it together, like shake it together. I'm just gonna shake it. So as you guys see, it was like super yellow. Now it's getting to become a little bit darker, dark brown. Now it's a little bit darker. I'm still not satisfied with the color. I'm gonna add a little bit of the darker shade. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of my brush. I'm going to take the back end, and I'm just going to mix everything together. So you guys can see now it is dark. This is actually how I mix it. I'm going to take a little bit of the darker powder. Now I've put a little bit of the darker powder, and I'm just going to mix this with my brush. I'm just going to mix everything together. So now we're done with that. I'm going to put my brush aside. I'm just going to shake it like this. So now this is what I have. Can you guys see, compared to this one and this, you guys see how dark this is? That's because I mix these two powder together to make it darker. I just like it sometimes when my setting powder is a little bit darker. I don't like it when it's too bit yellow. For the days where I want to have like a really natural makeup look, so this is my mixture powder. It's a little bit darker. Some people it may be a little bit too dark, but for me it's perfect. So now what I'm going to do is, now I'll show you guys how I mix this powder. Now we're going to and I have this container which I just close it whenever I'm done to preserve it. So now I'm showing you guys how I mix the powder. Let's go into highlight. What is highlighting? I got a lot of questions, my friends, like, why do you highlight? Highlighting is, let's just say highlighting and contour is the places that you want to stand out. That is where you put the lighter shade, like the lighter concealer. You want underneath your eyes to look brighter, you use brighter concealer. You want your cheekbone to stand out a little bit, you use a darker shade to contour your cheekbone. And if you want your cheekbone to stand out even more extra, you do the reverse contour. You do another shade lighter here, which is the reverse contour. First you do a contour, you do highlight here with a lighter concealer, and then you go with a darker concealer, you do contour, and then what you do, you go back again with a reverse contour powder to make everything stand out. So when you have highlighting, like you highlight normally and you're underneath your eyes, your nose bridge, to snatch your nose and makes your nose look smaller. Some people like to you highlight your chin to make your face like this, you know, you get this really nice. With highlighter you can definitely shape your face into a different person. You can do a lot of transformation using highlighting. Only depends if you know how to play with it. So normally what I like to highlight underneath my eyes, my nose bridge, a little bit underneath my nose here, my chin, and sometimes on my forehead, sometimes not. If you have a bigger forehead and you want your forehead to look smaller, you can go in with a contour powder. You can contour your face. You can put the powder or the contour to make your forehead look smaller. If you have a smaller forehead and you want your forehead to look bigger, you can take a lighter concealer and rub it and highlight your forehead so it makes your forehead look a little bit bigger. If you have a bigger nose and you want your nose to be a little bit smaller, you can use the contour to highlight your nose and then use a darker powder to contour your nose side to make your nose look smaller. So that is how some people like to do the reverse contour all the way. They bring it all the way to around their mouth like this, and by that way it makes your face really stand out. It makes your cheekbone really stand out, it makes your face look really nice. So that is what contour is. The darker shade is to hide the place that you don't want people to see. The lighter shade is to bring out the features in your face. So now I've explained to you guys what is highlighting. I'm going to show you guys how to highlight. So I've already done my eyebrow, I've already done my eyes, I've already applied my foundation. All that is done. I'm going to show you in this video how to do a highlighter and contour with a concealer, or how to do the next video. I'm going to come and show you guys how I do my powder contour. So normally, if you guys have been watching my video, you guys know I love to do powder contour. I like to highlight with concealer. When it comes to contour, I like to use powder, and the powder contour I like to use is the LA Girl contour powder. This is so dark, the pigment is beautiful, so this is the reason why I like to use this instead of using concealer to highlight. But because of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to highlight and contour with concealer. So I have I have few concealer. My nose is just itchy. I have few concealer laying down here. I have the Nabla Cosmetic concealer, and this is in cocoa, and this is dark. And I have the Makeup Revolution concealer also in C18. This is the darkest shade. I have the Elf's Cosmetic concealer. This is a little bit darker and this is lighter. I normally like to go with this and sometimes this, but mostly I go for this. I go for a little bit darker concealer just because I don't like that super brightness underneath my eyes. So now that I explained to you guys, let's do it. So what you're gonna need your sponge or a brush if you like to blend your highlighter with brush. You're gonna need a sponge to blend the highlighter, and you're gonna need a brush to blend your contour. Sometimes you can also use a sponge to blend the contour. I like to go in with a brush and then later go in with the sponge just to get rid of any harsh line. So I have these two lying down with me, and after you've done that, you need your powder to set your highlight, to set the place where you highlight. You can use a very banana powder, a brighter powder, or you can use a darker powder depending on what you like. And after you've done that, you're also going to need a contour powder. I have today the Sleek contour powder. This is a little bit darker, but this is a little bit lighter because I'm going to use a I'm going to use a concealer to contour. I don't need to use this Elegant contour powder because this powder is way darker than this one when it comes to pigments. If I use this one to contour, then I don't need to use a concealer. But if I use a concealer, I can go on top with this powder to set the concealer. So you guys know you can't use a concealer and go ahead and use this powder because your face will look much darker, because this powder, the pigment is very dark. So now I've explained to you guys all that. Let's jump into the tutorial. God, it's so hot in Holland these few days. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this e.l.f. cosmetic concealer. This is in Rich Cocoa. This is a little bit darker than this. This is just what I feel like using. You can choose whatever concealer you want to use. So I'm going to take the darker shade and I'm going to use this to highlight. When I highlight, I like to highlight underneath my eyes. As you guys can see, the concealer is not that bright, but this is how I like it. I like to highlight underneath my eyes and also bring it around my nose, so it makes your nose, the side of your nose, looks like it's all imagined with your face. Just gonna put a little bit more, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight my chin here. I'm going to highlight my nose bridge. I'm also going to highlight my forehead. So what you can do, if you want your face to look a little bit wilder, you want your face to be like broad. I already have a broad face, so sometimes I don't like to bring the concealer all the way up. I have a broad face, my face already like broad like this, and then my eyes are like really small. So whenever I have almond, I don't know how to call it, almond eyes, Amanda Olga, my eyes are like this. So whenever I have the concealer go all the way up, it makes my eyes look even more, I don't know how to explain it in English, but it makes my eyes even more look like Armando, like Amanda Olga. So I don't like to go all the way. Even if I go all the way, I pass here, I like to go in with my foundation brush just to darken it a little bit. Hope I'm explaining this good. I like to put the concealer a little bit underneath my eyes. Now you're going to take your sponge. Make sure your sponge is a little bit damp, or you can use a dry sponge. My sponge is a little bit damp, so what I'm going to first start, I'm going to start on my chin. I'm going to make sure I blend the concealer into the skin. I'm going to do a dabbing motion. I'm not going to try to like drag the concealer off the skin. You're just going to dab it into the skin. You see how smoothly it blends? And I really like to blend the edges, because I really don't like the harsh line. I'm going to blend the nose. And now we're going to blend the forehead. Maybe for some of you guys, this is not super highlight. This is like dark. But for me, I really like that natural highlighter. And if I want later, I can go underneath with a little bit of the lighter shade. I always like to blend the highlighter first before I do the contour. As you guys can see, everything is smoothly blended. Now it's time to contour. I'm going to take the Nabla Cosmetic contour concealer. This is very dark, so I'm going to show you guys how I contour. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it here. You guys see that? You know what, this is not that super dark. Let's try the Makeup Revolution concealer. Ooh, do you guys see that richness? I like to try this, and also a little bit on my forehead, even though sometimes I don't like to contour my forehead. And then I'm gonna take a little bit, I'm gonna put it on my nose. Just a little bit. So now that I'm done that, I'm going to take the brush. I'm first going to start on my nose because there is no product on the brush, so I don't have like a lot of concealer on my nose. I'm just gonna blend that into the skin. Try to bring it a little bit upwards. So because the nose is the first thing I blend, you guys see how smoothly it blends. So now it's time to blend the cheek. When your chin, your cheekbone. So when you're blending with the concealer, you have to make sure you go upwards. You don't want to come down. And then when you're blending your forehead, you make sure you bring it down. You don't want to go up. So now that I've blended, I'm going to take my sponge. I'm going to use this side, and I'm just going to blend the contour very nice into the skin. I like to take where I used to blend the concealer, just go on the edges around the concealer and the contour, just to blend out every hash line. So now that we've done that, you guys can't see the transformation, but definitely can see that my cheekbone has turned out a little bit more. So now we're going to set. You can use any powder of your choice. I'm going to use my powder that I just mixed. I'm going to use this to set. It may not look that super bright to you guys, but it is very beautiful underneath the eyes. As you guys can see, it looks really natural with the powder. It doesn't even feel like I have a powder on my face. This is what I love about mixing my powder. So now that I've set where I highlight with the highlighting powder, now we're going to set the contour. So because I've already used a darker concealer, I don't want to use a darker contour powder. I'm going to take this sleek contour kit. I'm going to use this powder to set the contour. I'm also going to use the powder to contour the chin, but I didn't use any concealer just because I didn't feel like it is necessary, and I don't like how it looks with concealer. I think the powder is more than enough. So now that we've done that, I'm first going to wipe off all this excess powder on my face, and I'm going to set my face with my Black Opal setting powder. So I'm going in again with the powder just to blend everything smoother. So now that I've done that, now it's time to do reverse contour. I'm going to use my mixture, and I'm going to do the reverse contour. So now that we've done that, I'm going to contour my nose. I'm also going to use this powder. We're just going to take a little bit. I want to contour my nose, but I want my nose to look as natural as possible. So now that we've done that, I'm going to do my lips. I'm going to take my Makeup Revolution lip liner. So now it's time to wipe off this excess powder. So now it's time to highlight. I'm going to take my Sun-Kissed bronzer. I'm going to use this to highlight. So what I put on my lip after applying the lip liner, I just go in with this lip gloss. That's the only thing I just put on top of the lip liner. So now it's time to set. So guys, this is the finished result with the highlighting and contour. My makeup looks really nice. My face looks really natural. I really like it. So this is how to highlight and contour. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys do, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, on my Facebook like page for more pictures. I really like it. If you want, you can use a brighter concealer to make your under eye really stand out. To me, like this, my under eyes look really bright, it looks really nice, and the makeup overall looks really natural. This is how I like to highlight. So if you guys show me how you like to highlight, you can DM me a picture, or you can send me a message on my Facebook like page, or a picture of you showing me how you do your highlights. I really appreciate it. So this is the finished result. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys do, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, on my Facebook like page. All the link will be down in the description box. This again, Amy. Bye. Do.